another one. And Sequence Gaming today already having really just a phenomenal game. They played so well. Their bot lane synergy was spot on. They had flash saves. You had close getaways with under 50 HP. It was exciting and it was good, and I'm looking forward to seeing them play here again in the semifinals, and I'm hoping that this game will be just as good. And the first bans we see now, Vi and Annie, both of them, very reasonable bans. Vi, of course, if Vi were you, is in this game, and I don't think they want her to play Vi.
It's interesting though, because I was talking to her before the game, and she doesn't even actually own Vi. So it's like, oh, let's ban out Vi against if I were you, but she doesn't own him. So own her. He doesn't own her? I assume it's a he. Anyway, we do see Jax and Viven being banned out as well. Two very strong champions. We talked about the strength of Jax in the last game. Really, really snowbally if you get a couple of early kills in the top lane. And we saw the strength of Annie in the last game. So strong.
Really, in this new Season 4, with all the AP a support can get, and, you know, the versatility of the bot lane these days, Annie support just has so many more uses. Towards the end of Season 3, she was already a popular pick, but now with even more AP, with magic penetration and everything else, and that relic shield, getting more gold for herself from her AD carry and still supporting her AD carry herself, it was ridiculous. She was able to basically 1v2 the enemy Sivir and another person from the enemy team. It was just almost broken. Caitlyn and Jarvan here, the last champions, being picked off. Jarvan, very powerful jungler, they do not want that in the game, and Caitlyn also in the last game together with Annie, such a powerful bottom lane, and they don't want anything to deal with that, don't want any of the poke, and we see Thresh locked in.
Thresh, one of the best supports in the game at the moment, and you can do so many cool plays with him. Death Sentence into the lantern, pulling people across the wall, managing to get your teammate to safety as you grab golems, pulling him half the way across the map. It's just setting you up for some incredible plays. And I just want to say, Varus hasn't been banned, and we saw the legend in the round of 16 on an incredible killing spree with that Varus. So are we going to see it again? We never know. Do see that Leona and the Lee Sin get locked in. I'm obviously expecting a Lissandra lock-in, a Lux lock-in, and a Lucian lock-in to finish out that team.
I would love that. I think the Leona is already very powerful. One of my favorite champions to pick against a Thresh, just because if he hooks your AD carry, you go in on them. It's not even a question of what to do, and here we do see the Varus actually being hovered over by the enemy team. They don't want the Legend to be able to pick that up for himself, but I actually think he won't mind as much, and just pick up another very strong AD carry. It looked like he was quite versatile in that role, and depending on what he picks up here, I think this could be an extremely interesting game. A lot of engaged potential from both of these teams already, and there's the Aurelia picked up for Sequence Gaming. And they've already used Aurelia to great effect earlier as well.
Yeah, didn't get as many kills as sometimes you expect on a top lane Aurelia, but still had that Triforce, still had a Mandarin's Omen, and was able to really melt people as it came into the later game, the later part of that team fight. We do see Siberian Rhino on that Varus, picking it up. I don't know if that's for him or for one of his teammates, but with the summoner spells they've selected, it will be interesting to see where they decide to go. Siberian Rhino obviously would charge in with Varus and get a huge amount of damage down. Mundo being locked in. Mundo, one of the stronger junglers at the moment because of his ability to counter jungle. If you get in there with that Burning Agony, pop your sadism, who's going to catch you? You've got Ghost as well. No one is going to be able to touch you. You're basically Hecarim, but without the horse legs. And as we know, horse legs are not the best thing to have as a doctor.
I really like the Dr. Mundo pickup. I haven't seen Mundo played in, you know, a higher yellow game for a long time, and I'm looking forward to seeing it here in this tournament game, and it's going to be really interesting to see what they can do with it. Of course, they also picked up the Renekton as the beefy front line. Didn't quite work out last game in the other semifinal, but I'm definitely looking forward to see how he can do against an Aurelia. And then there's the Nidalee. Nidalee, we've talked about this before. So strong with her spears. She can just spam spears all day, and it doesn't matter how many she misses. When she hits that one perfect spear on the enemy team, everything is over. Especially combined with a Varus, who also has that piercing arrow, even more poke. And then there's still so much engaged potential on her team with Renekton, with Thresh, and Mundo. They have a very powerful team for not only taking out towers, but sieging, and even their team fight is very powerful. However, on the enemy team, we have Yes?
So really strong.
Sorry.
Really, really strong. The enemy team, I'll talk about them. I'll take over from you here, Grey Goose. The enemy team have that Leona with the Solar Flare going to be able to get a huge AoE stun down, and also it looks like the Legend is going to be playing mid lane and just gives him an even better chance to pick up those kills, pick up those legendary assists as well, popping that charm, popping the Orb of Deception, popping some cash as well as he runs down that middle lane to try and get a huge amount of damage down against Zombie Sneeze, being able to dodge away from those Nidalee Spears with Spirit Rush as well. Lee Sin in the jungle, it gives you a lot of early map pressure. He's got a very good clear speed, and then we'll be able to gank his lanes after hitting about level 3, get that Sonic Wave in, get the Resonating Strike, and get onto the faces of these AD carries and these mid laners. The Corki pickup, Corki obviously changed ever so slightly. That Phosphorus Bomb now becoming a particle, actually chucks out a little missile. Looks a bit weedy, in all honesty, but still does just as much damage as it always has done. And then the Aurelia in the top lane, actually picking up Teleport there on If I Were You. Saw her play Aurelia last game. That Teleport is a new addition, however, and it's going to be interesting to see how she decides to use that one. If she uses it a lot early game, or if she just uses it to get back into lane and keep that CS nice and high.
And I'm loving the fact that they're switching up the roles within the team. That's something you very, very rarely see. Players switching up roles just a couple of games later. They've played with a different setup earlier today, and now they all of a sudden put Legend mid with Ahri and Divinix on that Corki into the bot lane together with that Leona, and it's going to be crucial for them to see how they can execute this. Can Ahri last against the Nidalee? Can she dodge all the spears? Can Leona and Corki make that bot lane work for them? And as it stands right now, Leona went for the exhaust, whereas Thresh actually has the ignite. And Leona generally a very aggressive support that wants to go all in and go for the kills, but with that ignite on Thresh, I'm not actually sure who has the higher kill potential here.
It's going to be interesting to see. I'm expecting sort of an early game damage dealing team composition coming out here from Best Rumble US. I'm a bit sad they didn't pick Rumble, in all honesty. I was expecting a Rumble with that Flame Spitter and the Equalizer as well coming out in the top lane, but Renekton just as strong as Rumble. Sort of like the attack damage version of Rumble. Cold and Meek, really strong. Ruthless Predator, not Righteous Predator. Ruthless Predator getting that stun down as well and being able to slice and dice around the team fight. As you said before, we are into the last minute of the spectator delay, and why don't we talk a little bit about level 1 action? Because I've talked about how strong Lee Sin is in the early game, that Leona as well, getting either that Zenith Blade or the Shield of Daybreak and the Charm coming out from the Legend. You can also get an Equilibrium Strike coming out from Aurelia, so that's a lot of CC from this sequence gaming team. However, on the other side, Death Sentence, Infected Cleavers, Rain of Arrows with that slow as well, Hail of Arrows, sorry, the Nidalee Spears, and even the Ruthless Predator coming out from Renekton. Huge amounts of CC from both teams. Are you expecting sort of a more passive early game?
I would not be surprised at all if both of these teams actually tried an invade. I do believe that Best Rumble EOS would theoretically be more aggressive, though, from their team composition. However, if they do decide to go defensive, I'd expect Nidalee to start out with traps and just put a bunch of traps down all over the place to simply maintain the vision advantage and spot any early incoming invades from sequence. But what I'm even more interested in is, are they going to be doing a lane switch after that level 1? Because level 1 is all good and fine, but if you invade the wrong way and then try to do a lane switch, it can actually put you very, very far behind. And the question is, are they flexible enough to adapt their game plan to whatever happens in the first minute or so in the game?
That is one of the big questions. We are into the loading screen now. Just going to do a quick plug of the tournament. This is, of course, the EGL League of Legends Championship Summoner's Shield number 13. Summoner's Shield is for gold and below solo queue ranked players. So the brackets and the join-up links are just beneath you, beneath the loading screen on the Twitch TV, Twitch on the channel. This is the semi-final between Best Rumble EU and Sequence Gaming. We saw Yordles in Pajamas and No Hard CC being played in the last one. No Hard CC taking that, so they are going to play in a best of 3 versus the winners of this. I am Sona. You can find me at The Only Sona. The Twitter is on the page, as is Grey Goose, who is my co-caster, my colour caster for today. He is at Grey Goose. This is obviously for EGL. You can find them at EGL, or you can go onto YouTube for EGL Pro, where we'll be putting up VODs of the tournament and highlights as well. I'm sure we have a lot of highlights to go through. It's been an exceptionally exciting tournament. I'll just wait on the final couple of seconds of this loading screen. it's such an exciting match, and we are into the semi-finals now. Obviously, bragging rights and 3,200 RP up for grabs, so really, really, really excited for this one.
We are finally into the game. Players buying all their items. The question is, which totems are they going to go for? Which items are they going to go for? All of this will decide the level 1 fight. What are they trying to do? As we see actually the double relic shield going over to Best Rumble EU West. We saw that in the last game. No Hurt CC Please did that for their bot lane, and it worked out really, really nicely for them. We don't see it on Sequence Gaming. However, the Leona also has it. It's a very nice tank item. I do believe it's still better on a ranged tank like Thresh that can execute minions from farther away without exposing himself to possible poke damage from the enemy team. So we do actually see a rather defensive setup from Best Rumble EU West here.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to just try and scout out these bushes. This is actually sort of a traditional Season 1, Season 2 invade path, also seen in Season 3, but the bushes have been changed ever so slightly, meaning that you don't quite get as much vision. And it looks like Best Rumble EU West are just going to go around here across this blue buff and be able to put down a ward. There is, however, a nice invade coming out from the Sequence Gaming team as well. They're going to stand in this tri-bush, perhaps even catch out someone as they walk back.
The question is Sequence Gaming going to walk back towards their blue buff? Can they get caught out here? Because I do think Renekton and Aurelia actually spotted one another out here. That's going to be the signal for Sequence to retreat.
Oh, Thresh is not in a great position though. Yeah, manages just to escape from that one. Got out of that Dragon Pit just quickly enough. Didn't want to be stuck in there. There is a ward down here now, and a Trinket ward getting chucked across the wall there by Lee Sin. Going to keep him safe. And Nidalee actually lining up for a spear steal on this blue buff.
Yeah, watch Nidalee take away the spear. The blue buff with the spear, of course, there is the sweeping lens used. That's one of the reasons why I like supports picking up the sweeping lens, because it is very powerful. It gives you a lot of advantages in vision clearing. Varus and Thresh were actually looking around the red buff. If Lee Sin had started there, they would have been there to steal that away. Lee Sin starting with his blue, and it is actually the lane swap, as I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, lane swap really going to be difficult for Aurelia. She can get her CS okay under tower. Blade Surge does cost a very large amount of mana though, so it's going to be difficult for her to be able to CS well under tower consistently. However, if you get the execute or the last shot on one of the minions, you do get a reset on that, so going to be okay for... We do actually... Ooh, Charm landing in mid lane, and it looks like the Legend might get the kill. The Ignite has gone down. Is it going to be enough barrier used out there by Zombie Sneeze? And the Ignite is going to tick, and not go boom there. Not quite enough damage, but having to jump away there by Zombie Sneeze, not going to be able to stay in that lane for much longer, although he does have that heal, so might be able to sustain himself up a little bit.
But that's already such a huge advantage for Sequence Gaming and Lee Sin.
Oh, Lee Sin's going to get caught out here. There is the flash. Are they going to be able to chase Burning Agony? And Ghosts are being used. Infected Cleaver. It's going to be enough damage. And Lee Sin goes down for first blood. Not quite 400 gold getting picked up there, but it's still a substantial amount moving across towards that Mundo.
Beautifully done, too. They had that ward there from Thresh and Varus in the early game. Very nicely picked up there. And they were ready for it. Thresh and Varus were moving down as well. It would have been a 3-for-2 as a mid lane engagement. Yeah,
there is a chase here onto the Legend. The red buff proccing and the Infected Cleavers are coming out. So much damage from that red and the Burning Agony. But he's going to be able to flash away and keep himself safe. Aurelia actually going in a little bit in the top lane. Going to get caught out. Actually diving into the middle of the minions to get that Blade Surge off. The death sentence missing by a minuscule amount. About one line of that sentence missed there. Not quite able to pick up that kill in the top lane.
And it's interesting because right now, Aurelia is actually doing better than Renekton simply because that death sentence did not hit. That could have been her death. Could have been her demise, but instead she survived it and she's able to last it a little more, staying under that tower. Very nice stun there coming out. Sadly, the tower not hitting Thresh yet. That would have been a beautiful amount of damage. It's really the danger if you're in a 1v2 lane and you go onto the tower to do some damage, and then all of a sudden that solo laner CCs you as a mid lane engagement happens.
Yeah, Charm just landing there onto Zombie Sneeze. Going to take a little bit of damage, but those spears are doing huge amounts already. They have changed the spear ever so slightly. If you jump away after you chuck it, after you throw it out, you don't get any additional damage. It's the range from when you threw it rather than from where you end up when it connects. So just a little bit of a nerf, but they're still exceptionally strong. Zombie Sneeze getting the blue buff though, being given that across because they had that early blue buff steal. Really interesting tactics here from Best Rumble EU.
That is indeed actually very, very interesting. And One thing I want to point out right now is that Aurelia picked up that Dorn's Blade. That just describes her game plan as Lee Sin was hovering around the top lane. They want to make something happen there. That Dorn's Blade signals aggression as they do go in on the bot lane.
Yeah, a bit of an engage here in the bot lane. Mundo is going where he pleases. The exhaust has gone down onto a Necton, however. Leona tanks that infective cleaver. She is going to get a bacterial infection if she stays around for too long and flashes away. Doesn't want to get sick from that and have to take some antibiotics. Manages to get away though. There is an engage in the top lane. Varus actually going back to grab that lantern, but he went into the line of fire. Resonating strike barrier has been used. He flashes away. Is it going to be enough? There comes the stun onto the Thresh. Ignite going down on Lee Sin. It might be enough. He's saved Gods. Piercing arrow from long range picks up the kill. Leona's going to go down in bot lane. Renekton picking up that one, and Ari has to back away from top lane. Not able to get close enough to get the final damage down onto that, and that's a 2-for-0 exchange. Beautifully done here by Best Rumble EU.
And really, just so much pressure all over the map from Best Rumble EU. Mundo doing some huge amounts of work. He was everywhere. He's forced out a flash in mid lane. He was top already, did a lot of damage there. Caught out Lee Sin there earlier at the red buff, then ganked bot now, and it's just been working so well for them. He's currently 1-0-1, so he's clearly had a nice participation, and now with 3-0 already, there's at 6 minutes into the game and 1,200 gold lead in favor of Best Rumble US, and if they can capitalize on this, this can be very, very bad for Sequence Gaming here.
Yeah, look how well spread out those kills are as well. One on Renekton, one on Mundo, meaning he can get that early Spirit Stone and be able to roam the map a little bit better, and one on Varus as well. He's upgraded to a Targon's Grace, giving extra gold across the Thresh. Thresh might actually be a little bit too far extended here. Aurelia bouncing around with that Blade... not Blade Watts. Blade Surge, that's the one. Blade Watts is Fiora's ultimate. With the Blade Surge, able to pick up those minions. And she's gone really tanky, actually. Doran's Ring, Doran's Blade, and Doran's Shield do give you quite a lot of health, so going to be able to tank up quite a bit. Dominus coming in bot lane. Mock Murder on Renekton has gone in. Valkyrie away there. Whoosh Power is taking a lot of damage. There's the Phosphorus Bomb missing, and it looks like Mock Murder's still going to chase onto this one with the Dominus, getting that bit of health damage. Nice Keldermeek. Going to take Divinix down to about half HP. They're going to turn it around. Gatling Gun coming out, but it's not going to be enough. And now that Renekton is confident, he's going to go back in onto the Leona, gets that, oh, nice Zenith Blade onto him. There's the Shield of Daybreak. Phosphorus Bomb coming out. Is it going to be enough? No, they don't want to follow up on this one. And they are pounding on this top tower. Siberian Rhino is charging in and getting as much damage down as he can. Nice Death Sentence there. Hail of Hours onto If I Were You, and he's getting taken down to about half his health, dodging that infected cleaver right at the end, however.
Indeed. A lot of action in this top lane, and they do keep on pushing. They're looking for this tower. They want this 2v1 to end, because actually it's not been working out in their favor. Corki's still ahead in CS. Top lane, Aurelia up on Renekton, so it's not been working as well as they had hoped. They are going to take out this tower now. And overall, they've got the kills to make it work though. So they lane switched, and even though they're behind in CS, they're up on kills, and overall now up on gold, a whole 2,300 gold for themselves, and this is just getting, well, not out of hand yet, but it's definitely not looking good for Sequence Gaming. So much gold already going over to Varus from that Thresh. They've already gotten to about 340 gold, and look at this. After taking that top tower out, they can just move through the enemy jungle. It's theirs. It's Rumble in the jungle from the Best Rumble EU.
They are rumbling along, stealing away those buffs, taking as much as they can. Legend going really low in the mid lane on that Ari. A nice spear here would get him down to about a quarter of his HP. Should be able to dodge it, but still, 4-man push now onto the mid lane. Siberian Rhino is there, Thresh is there as well. Death Sentence just missing, but they've got the tower down to about half HP. Charm coming out onto the Mundo. They might engage us. The spear just tanking into the minion there instead of hitting onto its intended target, that little foxy girl, the Ari.
But they're playing this beautifully. They're executing their team composition. They took out the top tower, then they rotate mid, take out mid tower, then they rotate over to Dragon, take out Dragon, possibly taking bot tower after that. And the spears and the piercing arrows just keep the enemy team completely at bay. They can't move out there. They're so endangered, because if they get hit once, it can mean almost instant death. They're not level 6 yet. Ari is now level 7, but Leona and Lee Sin not level 6. They don't have their engaged potential yet. And even though Varus and Thresh aren't yet either, Nidalee's level 6, Renekton's level 6, Mundo is level 6, and here's the Dragon that I mentioned, and even the Sequence is all of Sequence are in the area. They're doing their blue buff. They can't get close to this because it's so dangerous for them. And now Varus and Thresh gonna rotate down to that bot lane, pick up a nice little amount of farm, and then they're gonna be looking to push this game further and further in their favor.
Yeah, going to be able to get a huge amount of gold lead ahead right now. Oh, there's an engage here by Lee Sin onto the Nidalee. Going to follow that up. Here comes Leona. Oh, flashes away from the Zenith Blade. Dragon's Rage kick into the tower. Exhaust has gone down. However, he was tanking up way too many tower shots there. And they're going to have to back away. They've got this 5-man push going down in the mid lane now, but Lee Sin is so low. You don't want to stay around when you're so low. You are so low, so low. They're going to be able to take down this bottom tower. Varus and Thresh pounding away on that one. Should be a free tower for them. And they're each going to pick up that 150 gold. And the rest of their team will be getting a bit of global gold as well.
Exactly, and with Aurelia sticking around the mid lane, they're kind of trying to equalize that pressure, give Renekton a chance to free farm up top, and now he's actually caught up in farm. He's negated the advantage that Aurelia had during the early game. Varus now only 4 CS behind Corki as well, and overall this has worked really well, but Ahri's coming down here to the bot lane, looking to make something happen. She was spotted by a ward though.
Oh, beautiful death sentence, but the charm's going to come out. Zenith Blade missing, dodges the charm as well, and the Orb of Deception does a little bit of damage to both of them. Going to be able to get away from that one. It's a 4-man stack here in the bottom lane, and you know what that means. Best Rumble EU are going to go and push down this mid.
I was about to say, with that many people bot, they can just free push mid. Renekton moved over from the top lane. He had so much free pressure there. Aurelia was up there pushing that. At least she moved over to mid now. But that's already going to be a nice amount of damage here. They're going to go in on Ahri.
Yeah, Ahri landing that charm, but she gets taken so low by the Dominus and the Cold and Meek. Nidalee around as well. Infected Cleaver's missing left, right, and centre. Not quite on target there. If he were going to give me my flu jab, I would not take it. He'd probably hit someone next to me instead of me. Nice spear across the wall there. Here comes Mundo, and the Infected Cleaver's come out. Ignite onto the Legend. He's going to go down. The sadism, and Lee Sin is solo, trying to slow down Mundo there, but one more Infected Cleaver will do it. Picks up that kill. Aurelia still quite high on health, Renekton low, but here are Nidalee and Mundo. They have huge amounts of health, and they do not mind tanking up a couple of tower shots to get rid of those minions.
And they're playing this just beautifully. They're executing everything they have to do, and it's so nice to see this. Varus and Thresh were juking so well in the bot lane, avoiding any possible engagements, and letting the rest of their team just do what they had to do. They pushed so much damage onto that mid lane, then picked up kills there, forcing out summoner spells the entire time. And it's astounding. It's so nice to see a team not get, hung up on little things, or they're not getting confused by anything that Sequence Gaming is doing, and instead, they just stick to their game plan and execute it perfectly, and it's really what's been giving them this edge. They are now 5-0 with an almost 5,000 gold advantage in their favor.
Yeah, that gold is just spiraling and spiraling, going higher and higher, managing to get this Best Rumble EU team just those little bits of extra items. Bloodthirster completed there on Varus. Oh, that spear, taking about a third of the Legend's HP. Not as good in this game as he was a couple of games ago. Here comes Aurelia from the side. Blade Surge into Zombie Sneeze. They're going to be under tower though, and has to back away, popping that Transcendent Blades. The charm missing as well means that they're going to have to back away. Mundo is going into the bot lane, however, and they might be setting up for a gank down here while there's a 3-man push mid.
There's a 3-man push mid, but Renekton is free pushing top. Nidalee is just going to try to hold mid as long as possible with those spears.
Solar Flare in bottom lane. The Flay comes out as well. There's the Chain of Corruption. Death Sentence, and that's the whoosh power going down. Whoosh, he was gone and back onto the fountain, having to wait for that respawn timer. Trying to get onto Corki here. I'm not sure they'll be able to make it. The Death Sentence will be up any second now. Actually, 4 seconds on the cooldown of that one. Not going to be able to get there in time. But as you said, Renekton was pushing top the entire time. He's going to go on if I were you. He's got that Ruthless Predator up. Is he going to be able to use it? Yes, he does, and Slice and Dice as well. Not quite able to get enough damage down onto if I were you. Probably could have popped Dominus there, but a bit scared that Aurelia was just going to jump away.
Yeah, I don't think he wanted to waste it. I think he's quite happy just keeping her low, because that means she can't engage on him. So he can just sit around there and keep pushing that top wave while there are 3 people in the bot lane pushing that. And in 1.5 minutes, Dragon is up, so they'll be looking to keep that top lane pushed as much as possible. So Renekton can come down. They can take another easy Dragon for themselves. Varus is going back. Thresh is going back. They're going to pick up items, come back, take a free Dragon for themselves if Sequence isn't able to react to this. And just look at the map. There is so much vision from Best Rumble EU West everywhere in the enemy jungle, and there's nothing Sequence can do against this. One sweeping lens will not do enough, and they only have one pink ward. Is Renekton maybe in trouble here?
Yeah, he's popped the Dominus, but Aurelia's going to have to flash away, and the missed Sonic Wave means that they can't follow up on this one. Not going to be able to get onto that Renekton space and try and take him down. Lee Sin missed a couple of Sonic Waves at important times recently, and it'd be nice to see him hitting those and being able to follow up with his team. However, you have to remember that these are relatively high-level players, and they're going to be dodging and diving and ducking and weaving and bobbing and sliding and other adjectives that mean the same things. We see Renekton still pushing out this top lane. That's down to about half HP right now. Varus and Nidalee in the mid lane going to take this tower down for free.
Yeah, Varus now with that Bloodthirster has so much extra attack damage, and he's doing a lot of damage to towers as well.
Solar Flare coming in the mid lane, however. Nice spear there landing on Ahri. Looks like Leona was a bit off on her own here, thinking they could engage. We're not actually doing it, and she's going to try and Zenith Blade in, but Death Sentence missing because of the cast animation on that Zenith Blade. Would have hit if she kept running along. And really, an ultimate there used for nothing.
Exactly. It's an ultimate waste that they don't have for the next engagements. And now as we see the big items coming out for Best Rumble US, that's getting very, very dangerous for Sequence to try that again. Because now there's the Sunfire Cape plus the Mercury Treads on Renekton. He also has a Fortitude Elixir, so he wants to be even more powerful, wants to do more damage. And now here you can see they're clearing the ward around Dragon, at least the one that was visible. Couldn't get the other one. But, I mean, Nidalee has the Athene's Unholy Grail, is building up has a needlessly large rod, building up either a Zhonya's or Death Cap. I'd expect the Death Cap. And Varus already has the Bloodthirster, and here they go for the Dragon. There is vision, but what can they do? What can they do to thwart this? Renekton and Thresh are down in the bottom lane. They can come over here. There's a smite on Mundo.
Yeah, there's a teleport coming in, however, and Aurelia's going to be in on this one. There's the kill! Aurelia actually picking that one up. Varus is in the backline. He's got that Lantern to get away if he wants to. Leona is tanking up everything. Ahri really low as well. There's the Death Sentence landing onto Lee Sin. The boxes come out. Nice charm onto Renekton, however. Aurelia is really out of position. Blade surges as he slices and dices back, but there's the piercing arrow, and Corki's gone exceptionally low as well. Are they going to be able to get on this flash across the wall into the Wither's Predator? The barrier has been used. 2 kills there. Nidalee picking up 1 ignite going down. The spear just missing there, and he takes the Lantern to get away. Oh, piercing arrow within a mouse's whisker of picking up that final kill. Wow, that was a fight.
And it was beautifully done by Best Rumble EOS. They saw the advantage, and even though they lost one of their members very early on, it didn't even matter. They had gotten the Dragon, they had secured that. That was their main goal first of all. And then Thresh and Renekton were able to move over there, and the teleport out of Aurelia did not even matter. They were able to pick up so many members of the opposing team. Sequence not fighting very well there. They didn't have the Solar Flare, at least not where they wanted it to be, and then Leona didn't cast it in that entire fight. She did not ult. Ahri had to use the ult to get in, and then the rest of her ult to get out of that again. So she couldn't do as much damage as she wanted. And then Renekton, just being that beefy frontline, he did not use his Elixir of Fortitude, and I think he may have actually sold it. No, at least he used it. But he used it in base. He did not use it for that fight. Probably forgot. It's just, there are so many advantages for Best Rumble EOS right now that I'm not quite sure how Sequence wants to negate this. It is 10 to 1, 11,000 gold, over 9,000 gold advantage for Best Rumble EOS, 5-0 in towers. At least Sequence picked up a kill for themselves there, so that's nice. But I'm not sure if that's going to be enough to get this game back into their favor.
Yeah, I mean, they are just a little bit behind at the moment. I say a little bit. They're about 10,000 gold behind. Let's not mince our words here. Quite a bit behind, but they do have that team comp. We've talked about the AoE that they have. If they can manage to get some of that off, they should be able to get some kills. There's Zenith Blade actually hitting here onto Renekton. They're going to follow this up. There's the Solar Flare as well. The Legend is around. The Spear's coming out. Dominus being popped there by Renekton. Charm just missing behind him there, and he's going to be able to get away from this one. If I were you on that Aurelia, staying around, however, and they might keep going on this. Renekton is a bit out of position. So much damage with that Spear onto the Corki, however, and he is a lot higher than the team that he is being attacked by at the moment. Nice Shield of Daybreak. Here comes Ahri missing the Charm again, and Leona's going to go down to those Infected Cleavers. Sadism has been popped there by the Mundo. Phosphorus Bomb coming in, not quite enough damage, and this is a 3v5 that has been won here by Best Rumble EU. Zombie Sneeze just chewing everywhere, landing those spears, and look at that, achoo! Takes about half of his health.
And, I mean, good God, Renekton being a beast there. He just stood and took everything. The Zenith Blade hit onto him, the Solar Flare was used onto him, and he was barely even scratched. He has that negative hook, the Mercury Treads, and the Sunfire Cape. He is a monster right now. He tanked that forever and a day. Did not care. And then everybody else, his team followed up, and Leona can't tank that. All she basically has is that Face of the Mountain. And she used the active, which meant she sacrificed 20% of her current HP to give Ahri a shield for 10% of her total HP, it was not enough. And you know, hurting yourself while being attacked, not always the best idea. However, the thing that's really snowballing this game in Best Rumble EU West's favor is dodging the skill shots. They've been so phenomenally good at dodging the charms, at dodging the sonic waves, and just denying the engagement potential out of sequence. And then there's the solo player.
Yeah, solo player coming in, but the rest of the team is still back at base. Leona getting taken out really quickly. Sadism popped here by Mundo. There's the pissing arrow, not going to be enough damage. Nice charm onto the Thresh. He's going to go down, I think. No, he manages to escape. The box really nicely placed there, keeping everyone away. And there's going to be a fight in the bot lane. Renekton is getting jumped on by Aurelia, but he's going to use the Cold Meat to try and get himself safe. Manages to escape. And this should be some damage down onto this top tower.
And I mean, look at how low Renekton was, and Aurelia was still almost full, and even so, he was able to push her away.
Ooh, here comes Ari with the Spirit Rush trying to get in. Nice charm there onto the Varus, but she can't really engage. The Lee Sin is going to get knocked out. So much damage. Oh, double kill there for Ari. Actually, one for Corki and one for Ari. She can't chase any further, doesn't have any more Spirit Rushes available. Flash will be up in just a couple of seconds, however, and she is going to go round the side here. Ooh, the Nidalee Spear almost hitting her there, and the Lantern just pulling her around. They might actually try and engage this one. Oh, the Spear missing by a minuscule. The charm missing. The Death Sentence's hitting, however. Orbit Deception is there as well. Ignite's gone down. I'm not sure this is the best move for you here, because here comes Vi. Oh! Achoo! It picks up another kill. Nice Andrew Omen out there from Thresh, but Vi is coming. Aurelia is coming. Aurelia is going to jump onto the backline here. Leona is coming in from the side, but Aurelia has decided to run away for Thresh, and Leona is out of position now. Might be turned around on. Aurelia is still running towards the Thresh. No, she's turned around towards the Nidalee. Is she going to go? There's the Shield of Daybreak stuns. Transcendence Blade, but here comes Renekton with that movement Predator. Is it going to be enough? Solar Blade, they heal, keeping him alive. Corki manages. Ooh, my computer's really messed up there. So many particle effects going around for a second, and that's a lot of damage coming down to this Renekton. He's just tanking it. He's just like, yeah, I'll stand here. I'll take your Gatling gun. I'll take your damage. He's going to flash in, try and go in onto the Corki's pop the Ignite. The barriers come down as well. Is it going to be enough? Here comes Mundo. It could be a 2v4 win here. Mundo is coming with a sadism. Going to go onto that already. He is tanking everything up in the world. Infected Cleaver will be up any second now. Aurelia is getting attacked by Renekton in the back line of this. Here comes Mundo. Is it even Renekton picks up the kill? Infected Cleaver missing. He's going to try and safeguard across the wall, but I'm not sure Lee Sin will be able to get away from this one. He does with that safeguard to the ward. And now I'm going to take a breath, if that's cool. That'll be nice.
My god, so much back and forth. Really, I mean, Best Rumble EU West almost toying with their food here. They're just having some fun, overstaying their welcome a bit doing that. But overall, they've given us another very nice team fight, and in the end, Renekton, as I mentioned, so beefy. He just stood there and survived everything. They tried so hard to take him down. He almost saved Nidalee. Nidalee and Thresh survived forever. They just waited it out, and then the rest of Best Rumble EU were able to get back up there. Even Varus had been there.
Ooh, there's an engage in mid lane. There comes the Solar Flare, actually missing as the Slice and Dice comes away. Lee Sin is in the middle of this. Oh, he's going to go, and there's the kill from Corki, managing to pick up that Mundo. He had popped Sadism. There's the Dragon Straight kick. Renekton's is going to be out of position. Is it going to be enough? The charm missing, but they get the kill. The Spears coming in from the side, however. They might be able to pick up their first tower of the game, and if they do, it will give them just that little bit of gold and start getting them back in the game. Thresh and Varus are pushing out this bot lane, however. They either have to decide, this is a big decision point here for Sequence Gaming. Do they push? Do they go for the inhibitor? Or do they back away and stop them from losing that bot?
And I think they should get this tower, and then now they have to decide. Actually, Baron would even be on the table for them, but I do think they're just going to go back and defend their own inhibitor. They have to. But in the end, if Best Rumble EOS keeps doing this, if they keep dying in groups of 1 or 2, and let Sequence gain kills, gain towers. They've now picked up 2 towers for themselves, even though they lost one in the bot lane as well. If they keep doing that, Sequence could still be back.
There's an engage here in the bot lane, and Varus is trying to get away. He's actually used the Ginsu's Rage Blade there to try and keep himself alive. And across comes Leona, getting some damage down onto her, but that's a nice heal coming out from Nidalee. They're going to keep chasing on this one. Thresh is around. Sadism pop there by Mundo. The missiles coming across from the side by Corki, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough. Infected Cleaver missing. Death Sentence will be up any second now. Nice engage there by Nidalee onto Ari, but the flash away by Ari is going to keep her safe. It's a 4v5, and everyone is on full health here from the Best Rumble EU team. They're piercing arrow, doing a lot of damage there to Corki. They're going to be able to get this inhibitor because they got that free tower. And here comes the engage, the charm missing, they really need to go in. Nice solo play, hitting up 3 people. Lee Sin is in the middle, the boxes come down, Spears missing there, left, right and centre. There's so many particle effects, and Ari's going to be getting that kill onto Thresh. Varus picking up a kill onto Leona, another kill there for Corki, but Varus is still alive. No, he has been taken down now by Corki. There's a 3v2, Corki is still alive, however, might be able to get enough damage, and the spear! Achoo! Manages to pick up another kill, and here comes Renekton into the middle of the Nexus tower. It's another spear! Triple kill, and Zombie Sneeze is sneezing all over them.
Just incredible. They play that so well, landing all their skill shots. The spears just chunking so heavily, and I really like the Rage Blade pickup on Varus. Now Thresh with the Bilgewater Cutlass wants to do a little bit of damage. You know, he's saying, I'm a threat. I want to do more in this game as they take out the second Nexus Tower.
Yeah, got that second Nexus tower. Leona is going to go down. Might be the Nexus here. Aurelia has respawned, however, and Ari is here with the Home Guard. She misses the charm, and that is going to be massive, and they might have been able to turn this one really nicely. Mundo actually could go down. He's popped that Sadism and the Burn Agony. He's not going to get away. He's going to tank up that tower shot. They're not going to be able to follow up onto Nidalee and Renekton, however. They are going to escape. Minions are pushing down this top lane inhibitor. That's down to about half HP, and they've recognized it now. Are they going to be able to save it? Aurelia, bounce, 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 bounce. Not going to be able to clear all those minions as quickly as she'd like, because she actually missed one of the resets, but managing to save the inhibitor on about half of its health.
So that's sort of a pause button now. Actually, never mind. Thresh and Varus still here. Now, Varus playing AP. He's picked up a Riley's Crystal Scepter. He wants to slow people with his AP damage. And then he's already picked up a Recurve Bow. Not quite sure what he wants next. I would assume that he's actually going for a Runaan's Hurricane. Maybe a Wit's End. Not quite sure what else he would want to pick up with that. But definitely sort of a more unconventional Varus build. Normally at this point you'd have, I don't know, maybe the Last Whisper, maybe an Infinity Edge. Instead he's going for AP, and now Thresh with the Randuin's Omen, pretty tanky. Corki with that Trinity Force doing damage, but Ari, look at it, she has a Deathfire Grasp, and that's basically it. She still has boots, and she's trying to build a Zhonya's Hourglass, but she does not have any real items, whereas on the other hand,
the spear landing Solar Flare coming out as well. Phosphorus Bomb is not going to do any damage here. That's Leona going down. Renekton is tanking out this backline. Aurelia getting chunked there. Going to Blade Surge onto this Renekton, but he is being ignited. There aren't any Nexus Towers to run to Aurelia. They're going to run all the way back onto their base and still might be taken out. Nice Spirit Rush there by Ari, dodging out a few skill shots, but look at the damage down onto her. She tries to get back in. Oh, actually picking up a beautiful double kill there, padding out her KDA, 5, 4, and 5. Now here comes Lee Sin, going to jump onto that Varus. Varus actually not as strong as you'd expect him to be at this point. The second inhibitor does go down. Nice Chain of Corruption onto the Corki, and Corki's going to go down. Hasn't got enough lifesteal to sustain himself up through all of that AP damage. There's a nice Zenith Blade. Isn't going to be enough. Oh, the Nexus goes down in the middle of that Sonic Wave. Nicely done there by Best Rumble EU, managing to secure that game. 26 kills to 12, 55,000 gold to 37,000. And commiserations to Sequence Gaming, you guys played really well. I loved watching you in the round of 16. I'm sure you did just as well in the quarterfinals. But it is going to be a Best Rumble EU versus No Hard CC, please. Final matchup, best of 3, coming up in just a couple of minutes, guys. I've been Sona, my co-caster has been Grey Goose, and we'll be right back.